guys, welcome back. This week is week of April 26th, and what we're gonna get started with is a little moment of acknowledgement. So let's take a moment to acknowledge how amazing you guys have been throughout this whole pandemic because it is a tough time. You're out balancing different things and still pushing through to get the education you want deserve, which is amazing. So I just want to let you guys know you should definitely be proud of everything you're able to accomplish right now, even if it's like not academic, what you're doing for yourself at the moment. Having to go through these tough times is amazing. So, shout out to you. The next thing we're going to do is look into some thesis feedback, and then we'll get into this week's focus. So, again, a little reminder that your thesis statement is what you consider the best possible answer to your inquiry question. And then when it comes in terms of feedback, it was specific for everyone and it was provided through comments on your Google Docs. So if you take a chance to look at those, and if you have any questions on that or like any responses, I would recommend that you email me so I can see it. Because when you respond to the comments, I don't necessarily see it. I don't get like a notification. So the fastest way to get like maybe like your questions answered or to just like comment on that would be to email me. All right. This week we're going to focus on annotated bibliographies. So what is an annotated bibliography? It's a list of citations for the resources you've been using. So that is mostly where like bibliography comes from. And then the annotated part is that each citation is followed by a brief, let's say about like 150 word summary of each source. And then what role does it play for a research paper? So it informs the readers of the quality and relevancy of the sources being used. So like how good of a source and then how useful was it for your specific topic. And it also helps you plan on how you're going to use the sources to support your thesis. So I thought this is going to be very useful, especially if you do have to like go back and see how you can fix your thesis. Maybe looking through your sources while creating an annotated bibliography will be perfect in order to find that information that you need to create your thesis. All right, how do I create a citation? So I did include this website, which has Purdue Online Writing Lab. It has every specific citation that you'll need. So if you click there, you'll find yourself on this website. And notice how it goes straight to electronic sources because for the most part, that is what we have in our sources from what I've noticed. So you guys have, let's see, an entire website, a page on a website, an ebook, an image, article, and a web magazine, an article in an online scholarly journal. So again, based on like where you find your source, this is where you'll look at the specific citation. For the most part, I did notice that a popular one were like articles in a web magazine, so I included that one on here. It's author's last name, first name, the article name in quotes, title of the web magazine in italics, publisher name, publication date, URL, and date of access. So if you don't find, let's see, like the publisher name or the publisher date, it will give you an example of, like what you can do if you don't find those. Also keep in mind that it gives you like an example, so you'll have to kind of like pay attention at like where the author's name goes, like how the title is written. But for the most part, this is just about the best website to look at when it comes to like how to create citations. Next thing that we'll look at is what you actually include in these annotations. So these like roughly 150 summaries, what you would do besides summarizing is look at how would you evaluate the authority or even like the background of the author or the publication company. How do you explain the main points of the article? Compare and contrast to other sources you may have. and explain how you will use this to support your thesis. If you notice, some of these things were already asked of you, let's say like in your thesis, where it goes to, like the main points of the article, and even your guided note taking slides where you look at where you have your main idea box. So again, these are all things that you should be including when you're writing that 150 word, roughly 150 word summary. To help you guys get started on that, I am attaching an annotated bibliography document, which will pretty much just keep you guys a bit organized. So you'll start with your source title, like what is the title name. Then you'll go into your citation, and again, this is where you'll look into this website and find the best way to cite. And then you'll look into your annotation where you'll be answering or including the response to these 4 bullet points. So as a reminder, the minimum is 5, so I did include only 5 on here, but if you decide to use maybe 1 or 2 more, you can always do the annotation for those sources if you're going to use them. Alright, so this annotated bibliography is due depending when you have class, either Wednesday or Thursday. And as a reminder, it is for the sources you plan to use, and there will be a minimum of 5 sources. And again, why are we doing this now? Because we're still somewhat looking into our sources. We're still, let's say, like some of us are still creating that thesis. So what would really help us out is that push to answer these set of points over here. This one, these set of points over here. So if you're looking at your sources with these things in mind, they will help you gather the best information, which will then help you create your thesis. Right. And then the last thing, if you guys remember this slide from last week, you remember that, you need like maybe about 90% of engagement in order to get like a fun dance video out of me. So an update, we didn't actually get to the 90%, but we can still have a fun dance video. So tune in for that next week. It is my last week, so I too want to make sure that I say goodbye through a fun dance video. So yeah, that should be fun. All right, thank you guys for tuning in.